Welcome back to the Vault podcast. From Helldivers 2 to suicidal engineers to shouting out the GOAT. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get right into it. Housekeeping. We have 30 subscribers on YouTube. That's up from 16 subscribers last week, so we're making progress. We almost doubled. We have 10 followers on TikTok, so that's up from 6. So slow progress there, and about 10,000 views on all platforms. We are still currently recording in my bedroom on my iPhone. So like, comment, subscribe so we can afford a studio for you guys. In other news, I want you guys to comment and tell me what I should do for our 100 subscriber special. I mean, we only have 30 subscribers now, but I'm sure 100's not going to be too far off. All right. I started Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu this week. It has been an interesting but difficult ride. If anyone's ever done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or any Jiu-Jitsu or even wrestling at that matter, you probably understand how exhausting it is. So this is my first week doing specifically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did do a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu in high school, and I did some wrestling in middle school. So I'm at least comfortable rolling around with people, and I've loved the idea of it for years. I just never could afford it until about this point in my life. So this has been my first week. It's been an extremely humbling experience. I don't know much. I thought I knew at least a little bit about ground technique. I always knew it was something I was relatively weak at. But I didn't know how much I really didn't know. I mean, I'm a weekend and I can't do anything. I'm such a beginner. I'm just getting my ass kicked every day. But it's been fun and it's been a learning experience. And I'm loving it so far. I mean, I get done with jiu-jitsu every morning and I'm just super shaky. I mean, I'm somebody who used to work out every single day, and now I'm down to 4 days a week because on days that I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I'm absolutely worthless afterward. Recovery takes a good couple of hours, and getting in shape has taken a while. I've been doing classes at 6 in the morning, so it's definitely a surreal experience when you're getting strangled before most people are waking up. But I definitely have been learning a lot. I mean, at this point, it's just a matter of escapes. I don't even know what most of the guards are. So if you're a white belt or, I mean, anything in jiu-jitsu, you probably know how I'm feeling, and I'm sure you can sympathize for sure. So I'll let you guys know on the progress of my jiu-jitsu journey. But I mean, this week I did get 2 takedowns though. So I think, that's progress. That's fun. I can't believe it. It was on white belts, but they were white belts that, had been there for a while. So that was pretty fun. That was pretty exciting. Other than that, that's just 2 small victories. But other than that, nothing too notable about my week at jiu-jitsu. That being said, I do want to do 3 takeaways that I've gotten from jiu-jitsu this week. Number 1 being jiu-jitsu is as fun as I remember. I did it in high school, only took a couple of classes, and then me and my friends just messed around in their basement. After that, we just ended up having a sensei that moved to my hometown for a little bit, so we were taking some classes through him, and once he moved away, then couldn't take those classes anymore. So just as fun as I remember. Jiu-jitsu is going to take way longer to learn than I could have ever conceived. I mean, there's people in my gym right now that have been there for 2 years and are still white belts. I watched a video and it was talking about the average time it takes to be even a purple belt is 3 years. The average time it takes to be a black belt is 8 to 10 years. And I just never could have imagined it was going to take that long to progress. So hopefully I'm a little bit ahead of the curve. It won't take that long for me. I'm going to try hard to be proficient. I'm going to try and stay consistent. I mean, 3 times a week. Hopefully, I can progress through this journey faster than the average allotted time. Number 3, the third takeaway: getting strangled 3 times a week at 6 in the morning makes every day so much easier. When you're getting choked out before most people are waking up, they don't got shit on you. Not only are you being humbled, you got a workout in, you're learning something, you're learning how to be a badass, you're learning how to be an assassin. You're also doing something so difficult that the rest of the day is probably going to be cakewalk. I would say the only thing that makes doing a class that early and that difficult is that for the rest of the day, you're probably pretty tired. Whatever bad thing happens, it's a cakewalk, but you're exhausted. So this is some give and take. That being said, if I'm rolling Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my Tuesdays and Thursdays, amazing. When you're running at these super high RPMs and then you drop it down lower because you don't have to roll that day, well, that day is going to be a great day. You're going to have so much energy. You're going to be so happy because you're not exhausted. So when you're getting strangled at 6 in the morning before everybody wakes up, it makes every day so much easier. All right, on to other news. Aviation. I'm working on my pilot's license. I'm passionate about it. I've been in the aviation industry for damn near a year now. I mean, it's been 10 months or so. So new to aviation, but also I've been in it a while. I mean, I would almost be a brown or a blue belt in aviation if we put aviation in jiu-jitsu terms. So blue belt in aviation, or damn close to it, maybe a 4th stripe white belt. So I've been progressing through my journey, but this has nothing to do with me. Boeing planes have been falling apart. If you guys don't know, Boeing has been under fire for faulty manufacturing. Not really starting, but at least all the recent stories have been starting from January 5th, where a door plug blew out of an Alaskan Airlines flight, which caused the door of the plane to fall off during flight. So that's not good, obviously. Probably freaked out a lot of passengers. I'm sure they have insurance claims up the ass, but it doesn't stop there. Boeing in the last month has had a tire fall off a plane, a panel fall off of a wing of a plane, a cracked windshield when a plane was ascending to altitude, and a lot more. I mean, there was a baggage compartment from a flight from Mexico that flew open. There's been a lot of different cosmetic issues that have been going on. There's been a lot. To top off all of that, John Bennett, 62 years old, a former Boeing employee, was found dead at his house soon after speaking out about Boeing's safety and control standards. So, not only is Boeing falling apart and their planes falling apart, they're murdering people. So, safe to say, if you're thinking about flying anytime soon, you might want to think again. I have heard some claims that a lot of these safety standards have to do with Boeing's diversity and inclusion program. Now, to the validity of that statement, I have no idea. But on the same hand, is there really going to be any studies based upon whether women can do a better job than men? Probably not going to happen. So we're never going to get that answer. But it does coincide roughly a lot of Boeing's problems in the last 3 years with their announcement, I don't even know what it was, on Twitter maybe, of prioritizing diversity and inclusion hires. Coincidence? Maybe, but also maybe not. On to brighter news. Video games. I love video games. You probably love video games. If you're watching a YouTube podcast from a 22-year-old in his bedroom, odds are you probably are doing it while playing video games. So, video games to know. Right now, Helldivers 2. It's one of the newest and most popular games on the market right now. It has filled my YouTube Shorts feed, and I don't know a ton about the game. I haven't played it. I do know it's super popular. It does look really fun. From what I do know, it's about soldiers from Super Earth expanding freedom and liberation across the galaxy. And, as an American, I can get behind expanding freedom. Whew. I know they fight aliens, and I know they fight robots, and I think there's something to do with an online live server where every battle you take part in has real server consequences. So if you lose a planet, everyone loses a planet. If you gain a planet, everyone gains that planet. So that sounds super fun, super cool journey, and honestly a really good concept. So the Helldivers team, keep it up. That's awesome. You're probably revolutionizing games. I mean, this game is as popular as Fortnite was when it first came out. And if that has anything to do with it, the online server metrics that are going on right now could be the next Battle Royale. I don't know. That's my prediction. Only time can tell. On to other news. Elder Scrolls. I have been playing a shit ton of Skyrim lately. So yeah, I'm not playing Helldivers 2, but I am playing Skyrim. So that's where all my video game time goes. I have loved Skyrim since 2012, still love it to this day. I've been playing it on my Switch, so sadly it is the vanilla version of Skyrim. So all you modders out there, you're shit out of luck with me. I'm currently at like level 102. Okay, third time is the charm. Frickin' hell. This podcast is gonna be the death of me. Give me a second. Let me adjust here. So I know a lot of you guys don't know this, but this is my third time recording this motherfucking podcast. Because number one, the first time we did it, it sucked. The lighting sucked. I looked like shit. And my mics didn't work. So it was super airy sound because it was just the mic from the phone and it got all this echo and it didn't work. So I deleted it. We're trying again. I tried to come back with more energy, more excitement, the things you guys probably want from me. And so I come back, all this excitement. I mean, I'm sure you probably saw the first 10 minutes or whatever it was. And I only got about 10 minutes in. I mean, I recorded this 30, maybe even 40-minute podcast. And God damn it, my storage was full and I couldn't see the phone. Ugh, working with suboptimal designs. These are all part of the process, but Jesus Christ, is it irritating. I know every YouTuber has had this experience at some point in their career where something doesn't go right and it fucks up and you got to redo it and your content was good and your take was awesome and all this stuff. But I'm already hyped up. I'm already excited. So we're just going to pick up where we left off. I'm not sure exactly where we left off. So I know we were talking about shit falling off of Boeing. So Boeing had a fucking door fall off. It had a panel fall off its wings. It had a freaking wheel fall off on takeoff. A windshield cracked, and a whole lot more. To put the icing on the cake, John Bennett, 62 years old, a former Boeing employee, was found dead at his house soon after speaking out about Boeing's safety and control standards. So not only is Boeing falling apart, their planes falling apart, they're fucking killing people. So if you're thinking about flying anytime soon, you might want to think again. On to other news. Video games. I've been seeing Helldivers 2 everywhere recently. It's all over my YouTube Shorts feed. It looks like a hell of a lot of fun. It's one of the newest and most popular games. It has like the most downloads on Steam in like a year or whatever it was. Looks awesome. From what I gathered from Helldivers 2, it's the soldiers of Super Earth exploring the galaxy, bringing liberation and freedom to all. Which means they're murdering aliens and robots in a quest to get to the center of the galaxy on a live online server. So every win you make as a soldier in this game means that everyone wins in this game. Every planet you conquer, they conquer. Every planet you lose, they lose. Seems like a super fun, interactive, one hell of a game, Helldivers 2. On to a little bit other news. Skyrim, Elder Scrolls. I've been playing Skyrim a ton recently. I've been playing Skyrim since 2012, but recently got back into it, got onto it got back into it on my Switch, which means it is the vanilla version of Skyrim. So for all you modders out there, shit out of luck with me. I have modded the game, I just don't have it modded right now. I'm currently on like level 102. So anybody who knows anything about Skyrim's leveling system knows that that's no easy feat. I'm going for a completion feat of all perks. So that's going to be 251 levels, and I'll get all perks and have the most badass character in all of Tamriel. That being said, Skyrim is awesome. Skyrim is fun. Skyrim is freeing. Skyrim is customizable. We've always loved Skyrim. Everyone who's ever played Skyrim goes back to it at least one more time. But for me, it's like Minecraft. Every year you got to play it for like 2 weeks. So Skyrim's replayability, amazing. We love Skyrim. Now, because I've been playing Skyrim so much, I'm interested in when the next Elder Scrolls is, like almost everybody is. And sadly, it's not going to come out till 2026. So, Todd Howard, get your shit together. But also, take your time. Because if it's anything like Fallout 76 or Starfield, I'm going to cry. I hate those games. They were absolute flops. If Todd Howard loses Elder Scrolls, he's going to lose everyone. And we don't want that. We love Elder Scrolls. We love Skyrim. We love Morrowind. Or we love Oblivion. We even kind of love Elder Scrolls Online, but we don't have to talk about it. Elder Scrolls is a series that everyone can get behind, so it's riding on you, Todd Howard. All right, on to anime. I've been watching the Avatar live action series. It is mixed reviews, like very many people have. I love the cinematography. I love the graphics. I love the fights. I love the elements. They're super cool. Did a hell of a lot better than M. Night Shyamalan could have ever done. But the characters are dog shit. We have all this quantity and no fucking quality. The lines suck. The characters are shallow. The story is constantly tell not show. I'm not saying anything new. That being said, I don't mind Sokka, and I think they did Uncle Iroh really, really well. Because of watching the live action, I was inspired to go back and watch the animated series, and I decided to bring my girlfriend along. We are about halfway through the second season, so we're about to meet Toph, and I'm very, very excited. My girlfriend, for context, does not like anime. It is a feat and a half just to get her to watch some. So the fact that we are halfway through season 2 and she's still watching is an accomplishment all on its own. I'm excited to see what her impression of Toph is, and I'm really excited to see what her impression of the second half of the series is. She went as far as to say, I'm excited to watch this show with you tomorrow, Cody. So that's awesome. That's progress. Anybody who watches anime and has a girlfriend who doesn't, you know exactly how I feel. Not just that, but the second half of the series is the best half of the series. Everything cool happens. We meet Toph. We learn earthbending. We lose Appa. Uncle Iroh has his episode. Zuko's redemption arc. Azula killing Aang. We re-meet with Suki, the Ember Island actors, defeating the Fire Lord. Every cool thing happens. Going to the museum or the library. Every cool thing happens in the second half of the series. So I'm so excited to have my girlfriend see it and watch it and see what her opinions are of it. I'll keep you guys in the loop. After we finish the series, I'll get her on the podcast again and we'll give her opinions on what she thinks of it. So stay tuned so we can get her impressions. All right, on to slightly different news. Books. I want to talk to you guys about 2 different books. One being the 48 Laws of Power, and the other being the Undying Mercenary series. 48 Laws of Power. What is it? It's a book all about, well, the 48 Laws of Power. It's a historical account of what went wrong politically in certain power dynamics. So, for example, never outshine the master. Never let your accomplishments overshadow the king. Never be more popular than the people more powerful than you. Okay, never go into business with your friends. Just a few examples of some of the 48 Laws of Power. Now, what I think this book did right. I think this book is a great historical account. I think this book is a great guideline for what to keep in mind when dealing with people politically, dealing with your motives, dealing with other people's motives, trying to move ahead through a tier system without stepping on too many toes. Because if you step on too many toes, they're going to fight back. What I think this book is doing wrong is I don't think they're keeping into account the human element of any of this. This book talks about all of the worst aspects of people, all of their selfishness, all of their hatred, all of their popularity, all of their ego. And it's never talking about all of their compassion, all of their willingness to help others. It's never talking about their working togetherness. This is a great book on showing you how terrible people can be without giving a realistic representation of the whole spectrum of human emotions. They don't keep into account that people can work together for a common good or common goal, or that people want purpose in their life. I mean, that's the whole idea of the military. The military gives you purpose, and you work together with others for a common goal. They don't talk about that. Friends work together in business every day. Some of the most successful businesses that have ever existed, friends built them together. Families built them together. Loved ones built them together. Well, according to the 48 Laws of Power, that's always a bad idea. I mean, we're talking Walmart, Vanderbilt, Rockefeller. I mean, Black Rifle Coffee, they're two best friends. Sure, are they Navy SEALs, but they're still friends. And if you ask this book, that would be a bad idea. Well, guess what? They're a Fortune 500 fucking company. So it's not that bad of an idea, is it? And I just think it's a great thing to keep in mind about what humans can do bad, but also keep in mind what humans can do good. On to other books, the Undying Mercenary series. What is the Undying Mercenary series? Well, it's a series of books about mercenaries who travel the galaxy on, well, contract work, and when they die, they are reborn in clones of themselves. They made copies before they left to war. They upload their memories every like 5 minutes, and when they die, they get sent back into their clone. They have all their memories. Really cool. It's a sci-fi book. It's about Earth being conquered by an empire, and that empire going, look, we're going to destroy you if you don't give a good to our galaxy. So their good that they decided on was mercenary work. So we become slaves to the contract. What they did right. It's a great political book. It's a great military book. They outline the galaxy really, really well, but also give it an air of mystery, because you never know what's really going to happen, but we know what's going on around us. So it's interesting. It's intriguing. You always want to know what's happening next, or what's going to happen next. They outlined aliens really well. So there's like a spider creature, and they have like their own types of personality. There's squid creatures, and the squid creatures enslave biotics and genetically mutate them to be like super soldiers and whatnot. What I think they did the best, though, is the psychology of what it means and what it feels like to be cloned. Because it's a mind-boggling experience. There's even times in the book where the main character, James McGill, his new life body would come across his old dead body, and he would talk about the surreal experience of he doesn't know which one is the real him. And there's even concepts of double memories, so a clone like escapes into the galaxy, and so now there's two versions of the same person. Well, which one's the real person now? Which one's just the copy? Is this me, or has my mind just been put and my memories just been put into a clone? Where does the consciousness actually lie in this chain of clones? So a cool concept. Obviously, it's been hinted on in other forms of media, but I think they go into depth really well in the psychology of what it means to be a clone. So if you're into sci-fi political dramas, this is the read for you. On to news. Give me a second. I'm sorry, podcast. I have to check my phone to make sure we're still recording, because if we're not, I'm going to cry. Okay, we're still recording. On to news. Texas is passing legislation to prosecute drug dealers who are selling fentanyl. Sadly, I think this is a bunch of bullshit. After looking into this case, I feel that it is legislation being passed to gain favor politically and isn't going to result in anything good. Or much of anything at all. Number one thing, we're upping the incarceration of drug dealers. Well, at least their term. The term of incarceration for these drug dealers. Well, here's the thing about drug dealers. They're not dealing drugs because they want to. They're dealing drugs because they have to, or because it was the only opportunity they had, or God knows what reason. Not only that, but if you're dealing drugs and you're already going to get 10 to life, what's the fucking difference if it's 20 to life now? Just because you up the time that they're going to be incarcerated doesn't deter them from selling drugs. They're selling drugs because they want to make money. They're selling drugs to have an opportunity. They're selling drugs for whatever reason they need to sell drugs for, not because you told them not to. So shame on you, Texas. I thought Texas was smart. We thought Texas had common sense. Not, okay, well, we're going to battle this war on drugs with the drug dealers. You don't need to battle the war on drugs with the drug dealers. You need to battle the war on drugs with the drug shippers. You need to battle the war on drugs with at the source. I mean, for me, there's two solutions to this. Number one, you legalize drugs. You regulate them. You get the people that need help the help that they need. You make sure that we're not getting fentanyl. Make sure that we're not getting it laced. Make sure that the people who are and do take fentanyl and need to take fentanyl get the help that they need, or the doses that they need, or whatever it is. If you're really worried about this as a crisis, don't attack it at the drug dealer. Attack it at the consumer, or attack it at the producer. Okay? And the producer is in Mexico, whether that's the Mexican government themselves, whether that's the cartel, whether that's the grow up. If you want real change, change it there. If America wants a war, go to the war on drugs. Go to Mexico. Go to the cartel. Go to wherever this shit is happening. If this is a real crisis and a real epidemic and we need to protect our people, go to the fucking source. So shame on you, Texas, for thinking you're making a difference when in reality, it's just a fucking headline. On to even more depressing news. AI is and will be taking over everything. Joe Rogan had an interview with Ray Kurzweil, a scientist and futurologist. He just released a book, so go check it out if you are watching. And Ray talked about a lot of things. They talked about what AI is going to look like, whether it's good, whether it's bad, the biological cocoon to the electronic butterfly. They talked about what jobs it could take over. They talked about who's in danger. But the biggest takeaway I got from this podcast was that 30% of jobs will be automated by 2029. And that scares the shit out of me. And it scares the shit out of me specifically because I'm trying to be a pilot. And I want to be a commercial pilot. And I'm so scared that in the next 3 years, before I become a commercial pilot, because it takes about 3 years to get there, that by the time I'm ready to get there, that rug will be pulled out from under me. I'm afraid that when I finally qualify to be a commercial pilot, AI will have taken all the jobs and we will have automated flights. Now, that being said, I don't know what that's going to look like for the future of pilots. I don't know if all commercial pilots are going to just become CFIs, certified flight instructors, or if we're just going to have to be regulated to charter piloting, or what's going to happen. I don't know if we're just going to get reduced down to one pilot, or if it's going to be like a air marshal type service where the pilot sits as a passenger, and if something goes wrong, then they go and take over and pilot the plane. I have no idea, but I do know that eventually my job will be taken. And when that happens, I'll be shit out of luck. So that definitely scares the shit out of me, and I don't know what the future of aviation is going to look like. On to different news. Jordan Peterson's views on the Bible's being the truth and the ultimate truth. Now, it's not what you think. I'm not trying to convert you to Christianity. I know Jordan Peterson is what he is, but this perspective I think is interesting, and I do want to talk about it. So in one of his original interviews with Joe Rogan, I don't know how I missed it because I love Jordan Peterson and I watch a lot of his content. He talks about how the Bible is the source for all Western literature and culture. So how that breaks down, it goes the Bible, and then people write books kind of based off the Bible. Things like Dante's work, things like Shakespeare, things like any other Dark Age poet, Edgar Allan Poe, you name it. So Bible then is extrapolated, and then we, as we all know, we've all been to high school, all the works that have came from those stories. So then it's a reverse pyramid scheme, if you will, of Bible, book, and now we sit where we are right now. So what does this mean? It means that all culture and literature in the West is directly related to the Bible. That means that everything we've built, all of our ideologies, all of our perspectives, all of our people are directly attributed to the Bible, meaning that the Bible is the truth. And it's not for conversion reasons, it's just that you can't fight a universal constant. And at this point, it is a universal constant. The Bible being the truth is as true as saying steel is made from iron. It just is what it is. And the reason it is because when we mined iron, we found out that we could make steel. Well, when we mined this culture, we found out, or when we mined the Bible, we found out about this culture. It is what it is. It comes from that. They are one of the same. They are synonymous. So, what does that mean? That means instead of trying to uproot this culture that is for the Western culture, well, for America, 300 years, for Western culture, a couple thousand years. Instead of trying to take this culture, pick it up, turn it upside down, mold it. Take what you have, take the resources you have, and mold and bend to what you need it to be. Take what it is and take what it could be. Don't try and go, this doesn't count, cut it off, we're not going to accept that. Flip around, turn around, and make your own ideologies because you think that's a better version. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work for the most amount of people. It might work for you, but it's not going to work for everyone. So, when you're walking around and you want change, don't cut it off, flip it around, mold it into something else. Use what you have to make what you could have. Don't start over. It's not smart. It's not efficient. All right. On to my favorite part of the podcast, appreciation. We had one positive comment this week, so DeGoat, you're my guy. He specifically wanted me to shout him out, so here's my thank you to you. I'll throw the @ in the description because it's a long, crazy username and I just don't really want to say it. The DeGoat is a kid that makes goofy YouTube videos. He looks like he's having a lot of fun, so I'm all for it. DeGoat, keep it up, and thanks for your support, little buddy. Alrighty, on to our quote. I'm bringing the quotes back. If you guys went and watched episode 2, we had a quote at the end of it. Episode 3, 4, and 5, we didn't do it. I want to bring it back. Or, sorry, episode 3 and 4, we didn't do it, but I want to bring it back because I think it's a cool little segment. I like some of the other podcasters that do quotes. So here's mine for this week. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is just to try one more time. Thomas Edison. Alrighty, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And that's all, folks.